We met in junior high.
Yep.
Her mother was actually my English teacher, and we got to be best friends around the time of high school, about middle of high school.
But you told me you were in love with me our freshman year.
Yeah, that did happen.
And I told you I didn't want to date you.
Yes, that happened too. But somehow we were still best friends and got to know each other very well through high school. And I guess about the end of the senior year of high school, we ended up dating and went on our first date. And we actually dated through all of college and through my med school. We dated for 8 years before we got married.
It was hard to be apart in college just because there's so much going on. And it was really hard. When I lived in St. Louis, Jake was in med school in Columbia, and my mom got really sick. She had cancer, and actually passed away when I was about 25. And
before we got married.
Right before we got married. And Jake was actually a big part of me being able to get through that, even with the distance that we had physically separating us. It was huge for me to have him in my life, and to have the history that he had with my family before that happened. It made a big difference. Gave me somebody to turn to at that time.
Yeah, and God always seemed to have his hand on our life. It was amazing. Just, I guess, before even day one, before we got married, our way was always very clear. We were never really questioning where we should go or when we should go there or the things that we should do with our life. And I think God's hand was just really on us in so many ways. Even in our moves, whenever we moved to Michigan, we had to do it in a matter of weeks, and we literally went up and found a house inside of like 48 hours, and God had helped us to get that house immediately. Even whenever we left Michigan, we had to sell our house very quickly, and the same kind of blessing came. We sold our house in 3 weeks in basically a dead housing market. And again, just because God has really had his hand on our lives in so many ways. So much of everything we have, we owe to God, and it's just such a blessing for us. I had always thought that I wanted to be with her. I always thought that I was the one who wanted to marry Pam and wanted to go out with her back then. And not too long ago, we were listening to a sermon about how God plants desires in your heart. And at that time, he spoke to me almost in words and said, I placed that desire for her in your heart. And I kind of realized that it wasn't me that was really pleading to God. It was God's putting that in my heart that this was the person for me, and that's why I was so attracted to her. And that to me blew me away, because I thought for so long that I had been the one to beg God, oh please, can I marry this girl? And really I think that God had that in mind long ago.